What's good, people? It's about that time to randomly relate, reverse rant, no hate. So I want to talk about Claressa Shields and Savannah Marshall. Salute to both of them for an excellent fight. This is a fight that, again, I pictured happening the way it happened. Savannah being taller, rangy, and we've seen her fight. We know how she likes to move her upper body. She doesn't move too much on her legs, but she'll, move and she feints a lot, throws those long arms up to, make you throw you off, not, hesitant to come in. Claressa being shorter reach, faster, more explosive. We know, at least for me, I felt the only way that Savannah was going to beat Claressa Shields if she could knock her out because she's not a better boxer than Claressa Shields. Now, there's people that were saying they think she's a better boxer than Claressa Shields. I don't know how, but my whole thing was she's going to have to knock her out. Got to understand something about Shields. Shields, before I go into that, Savannah Marshall can punch. She's rangy. She has a long reach. She's pretty much taller than all the other fighters that she come across. She throws a sneaky uppercut, especially when she drops her hand. She leans, and the females usually try to throw that little jab to close the distance, and then she times it. By the time they're throwing that second jab, she launches right up the middle on them. Claressa, I'm pretty sure she looked at that because that's something that Savannah Marshall does all the time, and it's an effective shot for her. But again, Savannah's strong, and she basically she box. She loves. She is a boxer. She's not a brawler. She's a boxer. But what I expected her to do is what she was doing. She knows she can't match hand speed with Claressa Shields, and Claressa throws combinations. So whenever Claressa Shields lets her hands go, Savannah's going to cover up, move out the way, and try to not get hit. Whenever Claressa Shields is, she's going to try to close the distance, jump in real quick, and pressure Shields and try to, push her back to the ropes, try to, make her fight backing up. And the thing is with Claressa can fight on the back foot. She can walk you down. And the thing with Claressa, she's not scared to get hit. And she can take a punch. So I remember, people saying, oh, but she got dropped by a smaller female. And it's like, okay, how many great fighters have we seen got dropped and got back up and won? So that meant nothing. I told you guys what happened 10 years ago had nothing to do with last night. That was 10 years ago. Both fighters came in here to fight, okay? For those who don't understand the difference, in the amateurs, you're taught to hit the target. As a pro, you're taught to hit through the target, okay? It's not about, it's points. Or, you score points in boxing, but in the amateurs, it's different. This is why certain fighters were better amateurs than pros. And then certain fighters were better pros than amateurs. You understand? Because stylistically, the guy with more of an amateur style coming into the pros is going to have trouble. The guy that was maybe lost some fights in the amateurs has more of a pro style and they come to the pros is different. Now, those same two fighters fighting the pros, what happens, right? Well, if you saw the fight between Marshall and Shields, there were no knockdowns. Then we're talking about a 3-round fight. And that was 10 years ago. So regardless to what anybody said, like I said, that had nothing to do with nothing. Last night, both of those women went in there and laid it all out. Savannah stayed with the pressure. Claressa Shields, she would not let Savannah take rounds away from her. Like, I think they had it scored. See, let me tell you something. Most people had that fight scored 7-2, and some people had 7-3. Maybe if Savannah won the 10th round, if she got that round, I don't remember. When you outscore a person and win rounds, what people don't understand about that is even because you're fighting, it's a competitive fight. How could she win that many rounds? because you're outlanding the person. Understand, this is the difference between Shields and Marshall that I was saying from the very beginning. And you guys know I was breaking this down. Savannah Marshall does not have 2, 3, 4, 5 different ways to fight. She fights you that one way. It's just been effective for her. Because of her power, she gets the opponents that she's had has been more worried, more concerned about not getting hit with the big shot. Or they're not thinking about it until she catches them with the big shot. We've seen Shields make adjustments in fights. She is an explosive combination puncher. Example, Baumgartner is not an explosive combination puncher, but she does throw combinations at the right time. But she doesn't do it consistent enough to where she's really, that way ahead on the score. Well, she has done it. Don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. But against Mayer, that's not what she did. She did it when it was necessary. But if she had done it more, then you would have saw a wider margin in that fight. That was a very close fight. People said they thought Baumgartner and Mayer was going to be a more explosive fight than Shields and Marshall, and I didn't. And the reason that I didn't, like I said in a video that I already did about Baumgartner and Mayer, is because they're two boxers. That's not their style. And the combinations, like Alicia will get her shots off and then get out of there. Claressa Shields will start putting it on you. And once she's okay, all right, let me back off for a minute. But she will outland you, outthrow you, and she will keep you on your heels. So she dictates, okay, I'm backing up now. Okay, you threw your shot, okay, and then she'll come back and start lighting you up and she'll make you back up. Then she'll circle out, do what she has to do, but overall, she was sitting down on her punches and she was mixing it up. So she has more ways to attack than Marshall does. She's all around a more complete and better fighter than Marshall. I've been saying that from day one. And like I said, I don't care about people getting their feelings about what I say. I'm going to keep it real. I'm never going to say what people want me to say. I think Marshall is a good fighter. I think Claressa Shields is a much better fighter overall. She said in the 6th round, she got hit so hard, not like her eye, she couldn't even see for a couple of rounds. Like for a while after she got hit in her right eye, she couldn't even see. Now, if you've ever known fighters that experienced that have told you, like they got hit so hard that they really, it's like a whiteness. Okay. But she fought. They both fought. They both came and fought their asses off in that ring. That was a very competitive fight. Make no mistake about it. It was not a close fight. Now I'm hearing people talking about, oh, she only won by 1 round. I don't care what those judges say. Okay, and let me say this. I have to get this off my chest. Andre Ward and Timothy Bradley, man, they suck. Those guys, if they're not told to try to be neutral or lean towards the favorites in the fight, if they're doing this on their own, man, I promise you, these guys are annoying. It's like I just want to mute them. I wish I could just turn their voices down. I don't know what in the hell they be watching. But I'm watching this fight, and I'm going to be honest with you. They tried to make Savannah Marshall and Claressa Shields' fight sound like it was just, is anybody's fight to take at this point? No, hell no. Anytime Savannah Marshall let her hands go, the crowd is screaming because they want her to win. Just like Baumgartner, Shields got booed coming to the ring. The difference with the Baumgartner fight and Shields and Marshall is because Shields won by a way larger margin than Baumgartner did. But at the end of the day, the fans don't make the fight. Judges can be influenced by that, which they shouldn't. Just like when I make my judgment, I'm not influenced by booing or cheering. I'm just looking at what's going on. Both fighters later on the line after the fight, they both were very classy to each other. It's not like they're friends. It probably is a kind of still like a little dislike, but they gave each other their props. They hugged it out and so it is what it is. And it's on to the next one. which is exactly why I look at you fanboys the way I do. Savannah Marshall, out of her own mouth, says, "I thought she won. The right fighter won. She won." Now I don't believe in any greatest of all time. I just that's just not my thing. But hands down, there's no female in boxing that has accomplished close to what Claressa has. All of a sudden now I'm looking and I'm hearing people talk about, oh, Katie Taylor. First off, this is people that's just salty because Marshall lost. And then they was doing all this talk that she was going to win. What does Katie Taylor have to do with this fight? What does Katie Taylor have to do with this discussion, right? Because the one you thought was going to win lost. Now you bring up someone else. Well, at the end of the day, it doesn't change anything. This is one of the reasons why these goofballs, man, like I don't understand. I wish they'd find something else to do other than just sit up and go on YouTube videos to just put ignorant comments in. You can have your opinion all you want, but, you know, just like Cecilia Breakers, I remember when she lost the fight, and I remember before that fight, everybody was trying to say she was pound for pound the best, which that's fine. You can listen. But when she lost, guess who still was undefeated and still winning? Claressa Shields. You understand? So her and Savannah Marshall, the two best in the division. This whole thing, Layla Ali, bringing up all these other, Ann Wolf, people were showing so much hate towards Claressa. It's like, you guys are bringing up all these other fighters for what? What does that have to do? Even when Layla and Claressa was having their words, I'm like, I don't want to see no goddamn Layla Ali come out of retirement just to fight Claressa Shields. It makes no sense. Okay? So then when I'm seeing all this Katie Taylor, I'm like, wait, what the fuck is this? This is about Marshall and Shields, and all I'm seeing is Katie Taylor's name. About, oh, she's the real woke. And oh, I get you. It's you can't deal with the fact that Marshall lost, so now you're bringing up Katie Taylor. Doesn't make a difference, man. Pretty much, you know, if a fight happens, okay, if that was a fight that actually happened and Claressa could make that weight in a fight and she beat Katie Taylor, then who you going to go to next? It's like, man, you guys are so petty and childish and so full of hate that you can't just, hey, man, she won the fight. Simple. Hands down. Savannah Marshall's not making any excuses, and I hope she don't. I hope she don't say what she said and then end up trying to make excuses later. Just no. What happened, and both of them did what they had to do. Simple. The end. For her to even admit that she lost the fight, but then have fanboys and fangirls making excuses is like, okay, whatever. She admits that she lost. No, I definitely felt that she won. She said she thought it was closer than what they said. Now, you're in the heat of the battle. You're landing shots. You're getting hit. As a fighter, you know if you're not winning. Sometimes it might be harder. I don't know. You know, everybody's different. But as a fighter, you know what you should be doing. Even before you go back to the corner, you know. Before your coach even say, you already know what you should be doing. That's what a true professional does, right? And just saying, sometimes some people, it's just different in the heat of the battle. Everybody, like I said, thinks differently. But Marshall fought her ass off. She didn't go in there and lay down. She went in there and fought her ass off. Shields fought her ass off. And I told you guys, it's skills, baby. It ain't all about power. It is not all about power. Okay? Let me repeat that. When you have an all-around game, you're skilled on every level versus someone that's very good at one particular thing. If they can't catch you with that one particular thing, then there's going to be issues against that particular fighter. Just like everybody was saying that, you know, they're saying Marshall is better than everybody that Shields fought. And I'm saying, okay, so who did she fight that's better than Shields? Right? What does that have to do with anything? The thing about a skilled fighter is when you face many different styles, it's easier for you to make adjustments to certain situations. But it depends on who you're fighting. Okay? It's just like Marvin Hagler's a southpaw, so is Pernell Whitaker, but they're two completely different styles. So it's like They were two different divisions, but just say if a guy fought Pernell Whitaker, oh, he's a southpaw. I fought a southpaw before, okay. So now I'm fighting Marv. It's the same thing. No, it's not the same thing. Pernell is boxing, slipping, moving right in front of you, dip, dodge, counter shot, quick hands, box. Marv is just going to keep coming like Pac-Man. He just, that's Marv. He's just going to keep coming, eating those dots till you get to the big one. Then he can go, that's just Marv. He's not going to stop coming at you. Marv, so it's a completely different fight. They fought each other, and like I told you, that meant nothing compared to now. That was back then. It's different if they fought, then you're talking about 6 months later, a year later. No, we're talking about 10 years, and people still talking about an amateur fight. I told you guys, this is a whole different fight. I made me some money last night, too. But just saying, when you look at a fight, I tell people, is if you look at a fight for what it is and not for what you want it to be, it's easier to understand the outcome. Now, let's just say if she would have landed a big shot and knocked Claressa out, even if the fight would have went the same way it did, people would have said, I told you, too much power. She caught her with some shots. Hit her so hard she couldn't even see in her right eye for a little while, right? But she still lost. Why? Because Claressa Shields is just a better fighter. And when people, what do you think you could have did different? Look, everybody can look at the tape and say, I should have been doing this. Let me tell you something. In the fight, you know what you should be doing. You don't do it. Why? Because the opponent won't let you. It's like this. Okay? You drop something. Okay? You drop your basketball. It goes across the street. Oh, it went over in the ditch. And there's a big pit bull over there. And all you have in your hand is a butter knife. What's stopping you from physically walking over there to get that ball? You can walk, right? This won't let you do it. Why? I just got a butter knife, man. That's a pit bull. Now, just making an example, not making no animal cruelty video, just saying. Now, if you had a machete or a big butcher knife or a baseball bat or a hammer, right, you feel a whole lot more comfortable walking across there because in case that dog attacked, now you got an equalizer. That butter knife you just don't feel comfortable with, right? Meaning, if you use what you have to work with, now who's to say you won't catch him in the eye or in the nose or something hard enough to make the dog retreat? But your heart is saying, nah, I don't feel comfortable with this. No different from a fucking fighter. I should have been doing this, but you didn't do it because she wouldn't let you do it. You didn't do it because when you tried, she countered. You was getting hit. She was making you miss, making you pay, catch and shoot. She made everything. She made Savannah know this. I might not hit as hard as you, but every time you make a mistake, when you come in here and you come reckless, you come careless, no matter what you throw at me, I'm going to throw back. So if you throw 5 at me, I'm going to throw 10 at you. And that's exactly how the fight went. From the first round to the last round, they both came to fight. I do not let ignorant people and biased people judgment affect my judgment. But I don't cut corners and sugarcoat shit. I always said I thought Savannah Marshall was a good fighter. But I just never saw her as good as Shields. Last night proved it. And what I don't understand, I heard Adam Smith talking on an interview, and he was basically saying, as far as her, Savannah Marshall's future. Now, the video was titled that Adam Booth hints retirement for Marshall. He's saying, she's older than Shields. Yeah, she's 31. Shields is 27. To be honest with you, everybody's in a different place. Everybody doesn't have the same exact lifestyle. Maybe, yes, she wants to go back to her family or whatever. Okay, well, Shields has a family too. Just saying. She's only 31. My thing is this, okay? You do what you do. It's your life. It's your decisions. And we didn't hear this from Marshall. We heard, this guy Adam Smith saying this. But why is it every time a fighter loses one goddamn fight, you start hearing about retirement? And you lost to an elite fighter. It's not like you lost to like you gave it your all and you're fighting some C-class opponent that you were supposed to walk through and somehow they just beat you, but you was at your best. Or you're on a losing streak. You lost one fight. And I don't get it. or the fighter will disappear for a whole year and a half, 2 years, and then it's like you're only going to get older. Right now, to be honest with you, this is what I see with Claressa Shields. If Claressa Shields accomplished all she wants to accomplish, let's just say, I don't know how old she's going to wait to have a baby or something like that, but to me, that could be what slows Claressa Shields down. Because right now, unless she has a bad night, I don't see any female out there that's better than Claressa Shields. Like, I just don't see it. She decides to have a baby or something like that, and time off and become a mom, and then certain things that eye the tiger, that hunger's not the same. Big mansion, all this kind of that kind of stuff. It happens, and it can that could be it. Something like that. But as far as you losing a fight and then all of a sudden now, who knows what if Savannah Marshall even talked to this guy Adam Smith after the fight? Who knows? But just when you hear fighters say that kind of type of stuff, where it's like talking about contemplating retirement because you lose a fight, it's like, come on, man, like seriously. Now that the smoke is cleared, I'll say for anybody that wanted Savannah Marshall to win, that's cool. You got the right to, cheer for who you want. For those who thought that she would truly win because they thought she was better, now she wasn't. For those who was on some racist shit and calling Claressa a big mouth American, yeah, I saw the N-word thrown around. I spoke on that before. All that other bullshit. People, I seen comments, oh, her mom was a fucking crackhead. Oh, she's going to end up back in the crack house. All this just a bunch of real rotten punk shit. Y'all can all pretty much go to hell. And I'm pretty sure you guys are pissed off and for the wrong reasons. Because if Savannah Marshall had won that fight, I just said, hey, Savannah did what she had to do. Especially if she would have somehow outboxed her, because it's like overall, I don't see that happening. And I felt like if she was going to win, it was going to have to be by KO. But if you've been watching both of these people fight, you know that they both can fight. I don't know Claressa Shields. I'm not friends with her. I don't know Savannah Marshall. I don't know. I'm not friends with these people. I just see fighters. I look at what their ability is and I speak on it. Claressa Shields went through a lot of shit. I've been through a lot of stuff in my life. And there's a lot of things I can relate to with other fighters that, we're all human beings. You hit a title fighter or whatever you do for a living, and we're all human. And I can relate to that. I know a lot of people actually was teary-eyed when she started crying in the ring because it was like, damn, like, you don't look at the human side of people. You just look at what they do for a living. But then, calling her a big mouth American and all these blacks talk to them, all this bullshit I was seeing. I'm like, wow. So basically, she's supposed to go in the ring and be what you want her to be. Yes, sir. I buck dance for you, sir. Whatever you want me to do, sir. You just pull my strings and I go dancing for you. I tap dance for you, sir. And that's all that bullshit was coming from those type of individuals. So for somebody to grow up with a mother that was a drug addict or anything that wasn't coming up in an unsafe, unfit environment, someone that was molested or raped, and y'all think that shit's funny. You all this, and it's just like, yeah. But then, because she wins the fight, more bullshit starts coming up. More, she won't beat this person, she won't beat that, this, that, and then the crackhead baby stuff and all this bullshit. And it's like, these are people who are trash. And I won't even associate myself with people like that. And these are people that have no life. These are people who just sit up and they feel like they try to make themselves feel like if a fighter wins, that they win too. No, you don't win nothing. All y'all are is a bunch of pieces of shit that's on the outside. First off, and do nothing. And somebody even put in the comment section on another channel that, I'm so what they say. Yeah, I'm disgusted with Marshall. Let that black monkey beat her. All that bullshit. How the fuck you gonna lose to that fucking coon? Blah blah blah. All this, and I'm like, right, right, right. And that's why I made the comment that I made to those idiots, because it kills them, just for the simple fact that they saw a black woman beat a white woman, and that's all the fuck that was. If she was any other race, you wouldn't care. And y'all brought that in, and because see, these are the same motherfuckers who sit and drop by on your channel, my channel, try to see what's going on, and then try to sneak a little comment in like, fuck you, I just block you even if you say something positive, because I know who you are. But as far as the fight itself, I'll say this: I salute both fighters. I salute Savannah Marshall. She came to fight like I knew she was going to come to fight. She didn't fold. She just got outboxed. She just got beat by a better fighter. Claressa Shields came to fight. She knew what she was up against. She was fighting a strong puncher, but her skills is what she relied on, her all-around talent and ability. That was the best fight of the night. They fought harder than a lot of the men fight. And I will say this. I know the women want 3 rounds, and I'm not against it. I just hope that, because anytime something grows, understand, female boxing is still young. It's still very young. And once something becomes huge, I hope it doesn't end up being like the way it is for the men. Look at that card that they put on. Me telling you guys about the men doing the same thing with these title eliminators and having these tournaments. And why can't you put the same type of card on for the fucking men? They had a packed house, and it was an all-female event. And I felt like thumbs up to y'all. Now, you mean to tell me, so when I say, why can't you have Ryan Garcia versus Tank Davis? Wilder versus AJ. Devin Haney versus Lomachenko. Why can't you have all of them the same night? Why? The UFC does it. Every other sport put their very best on. Why boxing still doing this bullshit? And I don't want it, because I'm actually, something? I watch women boxing become a thing of people going, man, what are they doing? Nah, women shouldn't be in there doing that. No. Ali didn't want Layla to fight. Like he was saying, women not supposed to be getting punched in their breast like that and stuff and all. And same with the MMA. And then all of a sudden, I look at it, and it's growing. And I just don't want to see women's boxing end up like men's boxing, where instead of these women going ahead to fight, they're in here talking about, nah, I'm the A side. I ain't fighting you. Ain't no worth in you. And this, to the point where it's just, like what we have now. This whole big mess of people having Twitter and Instagram battles, coming on YouTube, just making videos, talking, but, no action, just talking. I wouldn't want to see that. And hopefully they keep this thing going. And for women's boxing to grow, this is what they're going to have to do. Put great cards together every time. That will separate them from what the men are doing. I wish Ramda Ali was on that card, because she can fight. She's in a division that's not really stacked, though. And I really wish she was on that card, because she can fight, and she's a person that when you say her name, a lot of people are like, who? Nah. And when it comes to female boxing, over here in the States, people know who Shields is. Baumgardner, because of last night and the build up to this fight, she's getting more attention now. But, Ramda Ali, she's not American. But the point, what I'm saying is, when you say her name, people don't know who they're talking about. And because Savannah and Shields is fighting, people who don't really know who Savannah Marshall is knew of her because she's fighting Shields. You see, and boxing is not a huge social thing over here in the States. So it's a select location, people certain that may be up on what's going on in boxing, but overall, no. So just saying, when I'm watching that fight, the whole card, I'm like, this whole card was good. That is where the men have been failing forever. And I do not want to see the females go into the same thing. Start out hot, like they're building something, and then all of a sudden they go into the same thing. One major fight and a bunch of, nothing going on the undercard. Understand, fighters don't fight but once or twice a year. So it's not like it's difficult to do this. The business model has to change. But I really liked that fight. The main event was what it should have been. The best fight on the card. It definitely was the best fight. And that fight really just, I think it was better than what people thought it was going to be. Because for some reason, people were saying Shields is just going to hit and run. Just saying a lot of crazy stuff about her. And I'm just like, okay, well, we'll see. Like I tell you, I don't know what a person's going to do when they show up for a fight, but I can tell you what I've seen and what I understand. And I've never seen Shields fight anybody like she was scared to fight them. I never saw Marshall fight anybody like she was scared to fight them. So basically, for me, I like to be able to be more celebratory of a fight, but you have to address idiots. You have to do it. You can't overlook certain things and act like you don't see these things. Because when I'm making my points, you try to help educate people who basically just talk and run their mouth, but they don't know what they're talking about. When you're talking about two elite fighters, you should expect the best, the best fights. You should hope that it be a great fight. I don't picture how the fight should be. I just think about looking at the way they fight and where their strong points are. But then I saw a lot of comments talking about, oh, fuck Claressa Shields. She ain't no GOAT. Ladies boxing is a joke. These bitches can't fight, blah, 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 all this other shit. Yet, you're taking the time out of your day to make comments. And you only saying that because Claressa won. But at the end of the day, it's like, why are you even interested then? It sucks and you don't care for it, but you're on boxing channels going on videos about Claressa Shields and Savannah Marshall. So how stupid does that make you look? Anyway, so yeah, and it's just unfair for people to even, any female, whether it's soccer, whether it's basketball, whether it's boxing, whatever, any female sport where if you're comparing what they do to what men do, then I'm going to say this. A lot of men are upset because they feel like, okay, females want the same equality as a man, but yet they can't do what we can do and this and whatever. Okay, so these guys are saying these things and then saying, I haven't seen a female fight that I enjoyed. Okay, then don't watch it. But to try to take away the accomplishments of someone because you don't like something, that's not going to happen. You basically suck as an individual. That's why you're sitting there watching things that you claim you don't like. Like I said, I don't, go get into all that greatest of all time stuff, but I'll say this plain and simple. She's the most accomplished female boxer. She's accomplished more in the female sport side of things than men have. Okay? And if there was one man right now that accomplished what she has accomplished, they'd be talking about that person like that person is the greatest of all time. Because they're trying to say that about Canelo. But at the end of the day, it's like you can think of a lot of fighters right now that will beat Canelo, that people still don't see as the greatest of all time, but one of. You understand? Simple. So trying to shit on her, any fighter's accomplishments, to say that women's boxing suck, well, okay, if you don't like it, don't. Nobody's telling you. My whole thing, I don't try to change people's minds, but I do question your stupidity. Because, for one, look at Manny Pacquiao, 8-time world champion. How many times do people bring that up? And it's funny, they only bring it up when whose name come up? Floyd's. Which, by the way, Pacquiao himself tried to insult Floyd for fighting exhibitions, right? What is he doing now? Fighting exhibitions. Just saying. So if you can gloat about him being an 8-time champion, well, Claressa Shields, look at all her accomplishments. And basically everything she accomplished, if she had lost the fight to Savannah Marshall, what people try to spin a narrative to be is, well, she took everything Claressa did and did it in one night because she beat her. So that means no matter what Claressa did, right, she lost to Marshall. So that just goes to show Marshall could have did it too. This is the type of stuff that people, and it's just like, listen, we don't have to go about all that what if stuff. We're going by what actually happened. Simple. So I never said I thought Claressa Shields, yeah, I wanted Shields to win. Yeah, I wanted Baumgartner to win. But I didn't say they were as far as and Michaela Mayer and Baumgartner went, I really wasn't sure who was going to win that fight because they both box. They both are not as aggressive as their words were, and I see flaws in both of them. And I felt like who makes the least mistakes is going to win that fight. That's how I saw it. I know Baumgartner hits harder, but Baumgartner is not really aggressive, even though she hits way harder. And Michaela is not really aggressive either. So it was like, I really didn't know how to call that one. But then when I looked at it, I said, okay, based on what they both have and all around, I'm going to give it to Baumgartner as far as just the pecking order, based on the fact that she does move better than Michaela, and she's more precise when she does throw combinations. Whereas Michaela, a lot of times, just let her hands go with no real rhyme or reason. Just more like Michaela. Michaela fights better when you give her time to think. When you pressure Michaela, she just throws punches, and that's when she starts leaning forward a lot and everything. But in this fight, I did not see either female really capitalize on the other's mistakes. Not too often, just certain times of them leaving themselves open for different shots, just carelessly, that type of thing. But overall, there was things that even in the corner, I'm listening to the corners and I'm like, man, the corner should be telling them this, be telling Michaela this, Baumgartner's corner should be telling her this. But, so I did pick Baumgartner to win, but it's not like I was 100% sure. I felt like, she definitely. I didn't know how that fight was going to go, but I felt like she definitely is good enough to beat Michaela, but Michaela's good enough to beat her. It depends on who makes the least mistakes and who takes advantage of the other person, who can exploit the other's weaknesses, because they both have weaknesses, both of them. And so that's where I stood with that. With Marshall and Shields, I said plain and simple, Marshall only wins if she knocks Shields out. That's it. Unless Shields get hurt in the fight or something, like where, throw her shoulder out, something, break her hand, something where she can't defend herself properly or something. But other than that, just skill for skill, just the will to win, the grit. I think people have even more respect for both of them now than they did before last night. Because truthfully, we saw two females go in there and actually fight hard and earn their money. And they went in there and both did their best to win. I don't think Marshall has anything to hold her head down for, because she went in there and fought her ass off. I don't think that Shields, needs to worry about trying to get people to like her more. Just fight and do what you do. Because no matter what you do, and especially the better you are, the more great you become in something, you're just going to have more people looking to see you lose. So don't ever look for fan approval. Those who embrace you, embrace you. Those who don't. And that's just life. That's just what it is. So, I will say to the intelligent people out there, don't let ignorant people, don't let ignorant people alter your judgment. To be racist, to be ignorant, and to be stupid. Just look at what's going on, and that's what you indulge in. Simple. Marshall's not going to be here forever, neither is Shields. Some years from now, somebody else will be cheering and booing a different fighter. There'll be a new Shields. There'll be a new Marshall. And, it's always a thing of who's going to win, who's going to do this and this. And fanboys and fangirls love to open their mouth and try to narrate a whole fight and tell you how it's going to happen. Then the fight doesn't go nowhere near the way they think it is. It was a great night of boxing. Salute to all the fighters. The undercard fighters and everybody. Salute to Shields and Marshall. Salute to Baumgartner and Mayer. Salute to Wilder and Helenius. Salute to Haney and Cambosis. Salute to, Caleb Plant and Anthony Durrell. Everybody went in there and did what they had to do. They did. They brought what they had that night. And I'll just put it like that. It's not a movie. It's not a script. It's a fight. What's going to happen is what's going to happen. And I thought it was a good night of boxing. Also, salute to Frank Sanchez and Carlos Negron, because they fought too. And Frank Sanchez did his thing, got the stoppage. I think in the ninth round, got the stoppage. So, and I mean, I like to be able to enjoy boxing. There's a lot of things you see that's, but like I said, the fanboys, the idiots can say things that just make you look and shake your head sometimes, because it's like, what the hell are they even talking about? But, Andre Ward and Tim Bradley, man, y'all need to shut the fuck up. Seriously. You guys are terrible, man. And it's like you're getting worse by the minute. I can't play neutral. I can't play neutral. I have to be honest about what I see. And when I see fighters going there and they're completely winning, they're piling up points, and you're trying to make it seem the fighters like this, or you're clearly leaning towards someone, it's like, I don't know. But Ward and Tim Bradley, I'm like, man, I wish I could have just muted those two and just make them shut up, man. Like, they were just saying some stupid shit. The whole card they're talking, I'm like, what are y'all looking at? There's certain things you see and they say you agree with, but it is certain shit where it's just like, what? Like, seriously? Are you serious right now? It was a good fight. It was a great fight. It was a very good night of boxing. And where things go from here, we don't know. You always want to see things on the upside. But again, I have no emotional attachment to these things. I just like certain things and I appreciate certain things. So talk to me in the comment section. Tell me what y'all think about the card, the fight. And also, even the whole thing about Adam Smith. I don't know if that's, the video was titled that he's hinting retirement for Marshall, but I mean, that's up to I can't say what a fighter should or shouldn't do, but I'm just saying, based on the fact that you lost a fight, like, I mean, who knows? I mean, I don't know. She, if anything, is disappointed, but she said even in the post conference, she left everything in the ring, and that's all you can expect out of yourself is what you can do. You try to do your best, and if your best is not good enough, yeah, you want to win, but the performance she put on last night, it's not like she's washed up. She's over the hill. She's still one of the best female fighters out there. So, just saying. Tell me what y'all think. Y'all think that she should hang it up, or you think she should keep fighting? Never fall in love with lies. Remember, the truth brings hate out of people, and I will catch y'all on the next video.